So dear students, it was the recorded class. তোমালোকে repeatedly চাই লবা এক্সামৰ কাৰণে ভালেখিনি বস্তু পঢ়াবলৈ আমাৰ টাইম কম পৰি গৈছে, এইটো সিলেবাসটো আনসাৰ্টেন হৈ আছে। সেইকাৰণে কিছুমান ইম্পৰ্টেন্ট টপিকস মই ৰেকৰ্ড কৰিবলৈ তোমালোকক দিম। এইটো ফাৰ্স্ট ভিডিও। ফাৰ্স্ট কোৱেশ্চনটো হ'ল prove that root 2 is a irrational number. We need to prove that root 2 is an irrational number. So already we know that root 2 is what? 2 is a non-perfect square number. Already we have learned earlier that all the square root of non-perfect square number like root 2, root 5 and root 7, root 11, all these are irrational number. What? Irrational number. And if we root over 25 before, this will be a rational number because 25 is a perfect square number. So remember, all kind of non-perfect square roots are irrational number. Still, আমি এইটো বস্তু theoretically prove কৰিব লাগে। কেনেকৈ কৰিম চাবা। First of all, do one solution or proof whatever you say. Let root 2 is equal to a by b where b is not equal to 0 is a rational number. So we have forcefully assumed that root 2 is a rational number. We need to prove as irrational, that is a separate thing, but at the beginning of the proof we have to consider this root 2 as a rational number. So what are these a and b? A comma b are co-primes and integers. You may ask me, sir, why you have written b as b is not equal to 0? Because in any rational number the denominator part cannot be equal to 0. If it happens, this entire term will be undefined. আমি denominator 0 পাতিব পাৰো। তাৰ পিছত চাবা, so I assume root 2 is equal to a by b. A, b are co-prime number, that means they do not have common divisor other than 1. If you do not know co-prime numbers, then ask me later. Okay, now squaring both sides, আমি both side কি কৰিছো, square কৰিছো। কৰিলে কি হ'ব, this will be root 2 square, this will be a by b whole square. What will happen? This will be 2, this is a square by b square. Look at this, I have squared both sides of this equation. Square of root 2 is 2, square of a by b is a square by b square. As simple as that. Now do cross multiplication, a square will be 2b square. So I got this relation after these steps. Now see, already I have mentioned what? I have mentioned that a, b are co-prime numbers and integers. That means this a and b value can be any integers, plus, minus, positive, negative, whatever. Fine. Now carefully observe this part. If I put any number, imagine if I put any number in place of b, focus kora, we got this relation. After that, put any value of b, put any integer in b square, in b. Maybe it is minus 2, maybe it is plus 5. If you put any number in place of b, it will give a positive integer. Because b minus minus 3 will go, what will be b square? That is minus 3 square, 9. If I take b equal to 4, what will be b square? It will be 16. This is the example that if I take any value of b, positive or negative, its square will be always positive. Anyway, this b square is multiplied with 2. Remember, this b square is multiplied with 2. Suppose b square value is 9. Suppose b square value is 9. But I have 2b square. That means it will be 2 into 9. That means what? This entire term 2b square will be always divisible by 2 or always will be a multiple of 2. Let me explain once again. B square can be any value. There is a 2 multiplied with this b square. What does it mean? this entire term will be always divisible by 2, or we can say this entire term always will be a multiple of 2. So 2b square is divisible by 2. What I have written? 2b square is divisible by 2. This is an equation. This is an equation. If the left hand side is divisible by 2, that means right hand side must be divisible by 2. Equation means what? Equation means on both sides we have same thing. Equation is like a balance. That means a subject was out like a balance. So this side and this side must be equal. So if this part is divisible by 2, what does it mean? This part is always divisible by 2. So making point a square is divisible by 2. If a square is divisible by 2, means square root of a square, that will be a is also divisible by 2. If square of any number is divisible by 2, then that number is also divisible by 2. ঠিক আছে, এটা বেশি এক্সপ্লেইন করো। স্কয়ার বি ডিভিজিবল বাই 2 হলে এটো ডিভিজিবল বাই 2 হ'ব। তোমালোকে एग्जांपल লৈ চাব পাৰা, মই দেখাই দিছো বাৰু। Suppose take a number 16. 16 is divisible by 2. 16 is square of what? 4 square. 4 square is divisible by 2. So square root of 4 is what? 4 is also divisible by 2. This is the example. If a square divisible by 2, then a is also divisible by 2. Okay? So next clicking point. This a is divisible by 2 means what? A can be 2, a can be 4, a can be 10, a can be 100, a can be 1 crore. That means a will be a multiple of 2. তোমালোকে এটি বুঝি পাইছে না নাই? If any number is divisible by 2, what does it mean? That means that number is a multiple of 2. So I will write. So a is a multiple of 2. Fine. Now I will write, let this a is equal to twice c, where c is what? C is integer. More details of বুঝাই আছো, তোমালোকে ভালকে বুঝি চাবা বস্তুটো। Why I have written this relation? Already I have told you that a is a multiple of 2. A is divisible by 2. If I take a is equal to 4, it is divisible by 2. If I take a is equal to 16, it is divisible by 2. If I take a is equal to 20, it is divisible by 2. This values of a 4, 16, 20, everything can be written. 4 can be written as 2 into 2, 16 can be written as 2 into 8, 20 can be written as 2 into 10. That means these values are changing, but this 2 is constant, right? These are different integers. So that is why I have written a equal to 2c. A c বিলাকৰ জায়গা তুমি কি পাতিব পাৰা? 2, 8, 10, 5, 6, anything. But there will be always 2. There will be 2 always multiplied with this integer. And that is why to represent all together, I have written a equal to twice c, which is representing a multiple of 2. Itu বস্তু মই ইয়াতে লিখি দিছো। Fine? চাবা এতিয়া। এইখিনি মই মুছি দিছো, তাহলে জায়গাটো কম পড়ি যাব। Now check. Now equation number 1 implies ইয়াতে তোমাৰ লিখা আছে a square. A square দ্বাৰা 2c পাতি দিয়া। 2c whole square. On the right hand side I have 2b square. So this will be 4c square, 2b square. Cancel 2 from both sides. It will give you b square equal to twice c square. Again, look at this. I have assumed c as an integer. Square of an integer c is an integer again. And there is a 2 multiplied with it. What does it mean? This entire term will be divisible by 2, just like previous way, as I had explained before. So 2c square is divisible by 2, and if this part is divisible, this part also will be divisible. B square is divisible by 2, and therefore b is divisible by 2. Same logic will be applied here, just like this one. That is why I am not explaining this once again. Right? Now see, this A is divisible by 2, B is divisible by 2. Now remember the concept of co-prime numbers. When two numbers become co-prime number, when they do not have any common divisor other than 1. Here you can see A has a divisor 2, B has also divisor 2. That means A and B are both are divisible by 2. That means A and B are not co-prime numbers. If they are co-prime numbers, they should not have a common divisor. So I am writing here, since A, B are divisible by 2 means they are not co-primes. They are not co-primes. And is it difficult? A and B are co-primes. It is proved as wrong. A and B are not co-prime actually. It contradicts. Contradict means opposite. Contradicts the fact. It contradicts the fact that root 2 is rational. So we plan to meaning to is na. I mean say A and B both are divisible by 2. They are not co-prime. That means our initial assumption A and B are co-prime. That assumption was wrong. Initially we have forcefully assumed root 2 as a rational number, and for that reason I have to assume AB as co-prime. But after doing these steps, I came to know that this A and B are not co-prime actually. Our assumption was wrong. So this contradicting our assumption, our initial assumption. Therefore, root 2 is irrational. Jimanthini possibly my explain if you do not know anything about co-prime numbers, if you do not know rational and irrational number difference, then it will be difficult for you. If you know well what is multiple, what is common divisor, then it is very easy for you. So repeatedly watch this and try to understand. And here is the homework for you. Instead of root 2, try to prove root 5 and root 3 as irrational numbers. In this video, we are going to learn how to rationalize a denominator of a given fraction or given expression. Let me show you something for better understanding. Suppose I have root 2 and I want to make this irrational number. Already all of you know probably root 2 is an irrational number. If I want to convert this root 2 into a rational number, what I am supposed to do? I have to multiply another root 2 with it, which make it root 2 square and root cancel each other. Finally, from irrational number, it becomes rational number. Already I had discussed in the class. So this root 2 becomes, which was irrational initially, becomes a rational number only because of this factor. And this is known as rationalizing factor. That means this another root 2 is the reason for which this irrational number root 2 becomes rational. Now, if the situation is like this, suppose you have root 3 plus root 2. This is a sum of two irrational numbers, and obviously their answer is also irrational. Now, I want to convert this irrational number into rational number by doing something. See, root 3 plus root 2, if I multiply the same thing, root 3 and root 2 simply by changing their sign. A plus B format of the formula to try a square minus B square was actually A plus B whole into A minus B whole. So I have A plus B. Suppose this one is our A, this one is our B. I have A plus B. To get this square term and multiply this A minus B with it. So it will become root 3 square minus root 2 square. If you follow this formula, 3 minus 2, final answer is a rational number. Don't get confused. If you have root 5 minus root 6, initially it was positive. This time we are taking a difference of two irrational number. No worries. This time root 5 minus root 6 should be multiplied with root 5 plus root 6. What is the learning from here? If it is given in positive, multiply a negative with, if it is given in a plus b form, then multiply a minus b with it. And if it is given in a minus b form, do the opposite. Multiply a plus b with it. Somehow we need to achieve this formula of a square minus b square. Now see, what will happen? This will be root 5 square minus root 6 square. That gives you 5 minus 6, again 1. Remember one thing, it is not mandatory that we have to get answer as 1 always. It can be any rational number. Our main focus is to remove the square root sign from the number by doing some calculation. Okay, fine. So this time this irrational number becomes rational because of this. So this is our rationalizing factor, and in this case this irrational number becomes rational because of this term. So it is our rationalizing factor. Repeatedly watch this and try to understand what I have explained just now. Now see, coming to this topic, here we have 1, 2, 3, three fractions. This is negative, positive. We need to simplify this by doing what? By doing rationalization of the denominator. Carefully observe. This is a irrational number, again irrational number, again irrational number. Our primary focus is to convert this irrational number into rational number. Let me show you how. This is our root 6 minus root 3, multiply root 6 plus root 3 with it. As we have already learned, minus plus multiply with it. So root 6 plus root 3, already there is a 3 root 2. See, we are multiplying root 6 plus root 3, which was already not there. Like this, if I have 2 by 5, I multiply 7 with 5, I must multiply the 7 with the numerator 2 as well. Why? To balance the fraction, to make it an equivalent fraction. Probably you know the concept of equivalent fraction. So basically, if I am multiplying with denominator, I must multiply with numerator as well. ठीक है, ऊपर तो multiply with the root 6 plus root 3. Now repeat the same thing for the other terms as well. Root 6 minus root 2, root 6 plus root 2. ऊपर तो multiply with the root 6 plus root 2. Okay, fine. एक ही बार मुझे भी सुना है कि हम फायदा लगते हैं. তোমালোকে অলরেডি বস্তুটো লিখিছা যেহেতু মই মুছি দি আছো হা. Now this is 2 3 and this will be root 6 plus 2 and root 6 minus 2. ठीक है, समझ. This will be a square minus, अच्छा वो ऊपर मल्टीप्लाई करो पावर में आता है 6 minus 2. Same thing should be multiplied with the numerator as well. So a square minus b square, I have 3 root 2 root 6 plus root 3. A square minus b square root 6 plus root 2. ठीक है, this is a square minus b square. I'm keeping it as it is. Let me see what can be done. Maybe this term will be cancelled in the next steps. Root 6 square means what? Square and root cancel each other. It will be 6. 6 minus 3, you will get 3. Good news. This will be cancelled with this. And root 6 plus root 3. This will be 6 minus 2, 4. I have already a 4. That's great. Root 6 plus root 2. Then this is 6 minus 4. I have 2 root 3. Root 6 minus 2. So this root 6 minus 2. The root 6 minus 4 how much? It will be 2. So 3 cancel, 4 cancel, 2 cancel. So this will be root 6 plus root 3 minus this root 3 will be multiplied with this root 3 into root 6 root 18 minus into plus minus root 3 into root 2 root 6 5 then root 3 into root 6 root 18 plus into minus minus root 3 into root 2 root 6. So 6 and 6 will be cancelled. This and this will be cancelled. How much left will be? One mistake will be question. Saya suruh এখানে তো আবার মিস্টেক আছে বাবা এখানে টাকা আছে আবার নেক্সট লাইন তোমার লিখে এসো √2 into √6 √12 √2 into √3 √6 √3 into √6 minus √18 √3 into √2 minus √6 √3 into √6 plus √18 and this is 2 √3 this into this 2 √3 so plus √6 minus √6 plus √6 plus √18 minus √18. This 12 is how much? 12 means what? Seba. 12 means 2 into 2 into 3. So the word 12 means what? 2 root 3. Rather than think about it, 2 root 3. And then basic basic one, 2 root 3. What are cancel for like 1 by 0. So এটাকে তোমাকে rationalize করি বলাই rationalizing করি কি করিব পারা simplify. So মই এটা কোয়েশ্চন তোমালোকক দি দিছো এটা তোমালোকে নিজে ট্রাই কৰিবা that is root 6 divided by root 2 plus root 3 minus plus 3 root 2 divided by root 6 plus root 3 minus 4 root 3 divided by root 6 and root 2. Try to simplify this question just like I did here. That's the next question, same to same. তোমালোকে কৰিব ট্রাই কৰিবা মই কোৱেশ্চনটো ক্ৰস চেক কৰি দিছো 2 plus root 3 3 root 2 6 root 3 4 root 2 ওকে ফাইন কোৱেশ্চনটো ঠিক আছে তো এইটো তোমালোকে কৰিব ট্রাই কৰিবা